I get Swedish.
I'll have to sit up straight. Cool. Well, thanks for this, Dan. Appreciate it. So you're in the middle of Past Four at the moment, the last show.
Yeah.
Coming towards the end. But let's start with, how did you get into singing and performing?
Well, I guess I'm not that unusual. I've been singing my entire life, basically, since before I could probably speak. And we were just a family who always sang. My brother, my sister, and my mother. All the time, when they were driving in a car or something, we'll always be singing. But we would sit home, play guitars, and just sing.
That's cool.
Me and my siblings. But classical music, I basically didn't hear until I was like 20, 21 or something.
Wow, that's quite late.
So, yeah, I was singing in a rock band, and I was playing a lot as a like troubadour, things like that, and I just wanted basically to get a bit technique in singing voice, and I had, long story short, I came to this old wonderful woman called Sylvia, and she was a voice teacher, but also a pianist, very fantastic pianist, really. And she wanted to hear what I could do, and I sat down by her grand piano, had really long hair, and I sang Guns N' Roses for her. And she was like, Jesus, what's going on? But she could hear that I had really like high notes.
Oh, cool.
So she was like, you could be a tenor, you know, with quite a dark tenor. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't really know what that means. And then she put Tosca, the score of Tosca, on the piano, and she played, El Lucevante Stelle, and I was just blown away.
Wow!
Because I've never really heard that type of music. I was like, what's going on? What is this? I need to know what that is and what's going on here.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so she really opened that up for me.
That's very cool. This is completely off topic, but I saw Guns N' Roses in Sydney last time they came.
All right.
And it was in November, and they were performing November Rain, and it started pouring rain.
No, really.
That's my claim. It was very cool. So did you continue to study singing? Did you go to a university after you had a few lessons with her? Or?
Yeah, I was actually on my way to become an engineer, but in the middle of this, I'm almost going there. It's like starting in a few months. I met her, and it just changed everything. My path of what I was gonna do. So I felt I needed to explore what that is. So I stayed in my little hometown where I'm from, in the south of Sweden, and worked at customer support at an insurance company.
Yeah.
And to be able to have voice lessons, and she then referred me to someone who I started a tenor who's called Harald Ek, who had been quite successful, sang at Bayreuth and things like that. And he then referred me to another place after a year or two, and like a pre-college thing, because I basically had no knowledge of musical theory, because I learned to play on my own guitar and piano and all of that. I knew how to read music sort of, but on the piano, but really bad, and no theory at all. So I needed to have that before I could go to like a musical college or anything. So I spent 2 years there studying. And then I went to applied for the opera school, what's it called? University College of Opera, I think is the correct name in Sweden for it, in Stockholm. So that's where I went there.
Awesome. And how did you find studying? Was that an enjoyable experience? Did you just gain a love for it through there more and more? Or?
I always liked it. To be able to I mean, you don't have to do a lot. You have anything else really. You can just worry about singing, basically, and learning.
Yeah.
So,
how did you find, once you finished studying, bridging that gap between studying and professional work? Was that difficult, or did you find that quite easy? Were you lucky to fall on your feet?
I was lucky to fall on my feet because I had already I had few concerts. The first, like, I graduated in January of 2010, and I had a few concerts during the spring of 2010, but then I had my first real opera production in Stockholm was Faust in the fall of 2010.
Yeah.
And then I knew that I was going to go to the opera in Stockholm, the Royal Opera in Stockholm, and sing Rodolfo in La Bohème. And then,
Hello.
hi.
Oh, sorry.
Are you happy for me to set up?
Oh, could we just have half hour if that's okay? If it's too much.
Okay.
That's all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, so then I knew I would go on after that, after Stockholm, to be part of the ensemble in Oslo, at the opera in Norway.
Wow.
So I was really lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an agent who picked me up already in school, who was really, she was really great for me.
Oh, awesome. Were you conscious about the repertoire you were taking on, or did you kind of just take as much as you could, try and get engrossed in it as much as possible?
I think I was very lucky to always be offered things that really actually fit me, that the people who were offering me things were really aware of where I was at that point of my singing and the type of voice I had. I always felt, and everyone's been saying, that you're probably gonna sing one of these days, you're gonna sing heavier German stuff, but I did not feel any rush to do that, and I said no to it many times actually.
Okay.
Yeah, when I thought it was that this is gonna be too much.
Okay.
So I said no to that because I sang Tamino and I sang Nemorino, I sang everything of the very light lyric stuff before. And then gradually to heavier Italian stuff, and I sang my first real Wagner was Lohengrin in 2017.
Okay.
So I've been going on for some time at least before I did that.
You said you kind of pushed away from it and you didn't take it on until you felt that you were ready.
Yeah.
How did you know when you were ready? Was there something that clicked in you? Was there something that you just felt different about the repertoire?
It's no, but it's funny because I always felt at home singing the Italian things, like Cavaradossi and all that, which sits really high. And then I started to feel like it was easier and easier to sing the heavier things, the Wagner stuff, some of that, and it would actually cost less.
Yeah.
On the vocal, I was in better shape after Tannhäuser than I would be after, for example, almost like a Calaf or Cavaradossi, which is supposed to be maybe not that taxing, but so I think you sort of feel it. If you're really like honest to yourself, you can feel if this is good for you or not good for you, because it's also loaded with vain, can I say that? That you want to sing heavier and heavier things. You always want to do that.
You want to push yourself.
Yeah, but it's not so clever to do that. And I think if you're really honest and listen to yourself, you feel it. But it's easy to get really flattered if someone offers you to sing like, oh, you want to come here and do Tristan or something like, oh, dude, of course, but no.
Did you have any other external influences, like a teacher or anyone that suggested now maybe it's the time, or is this all how you felt?
In that case, I think it's probably my agent. I spoke a lot with about that, and I have a few people that I really trust. Yeah. But sometimes. Yeah, but it's really hard. You have to listen to yourself. If you're able to, you need to be. It's really important, I think, to kind of as early as possible start to grow that side of yourself, to rely on yourself, because it's, I mean, at the end of the day, it's actually you who are standing there on the stage, and you need to deliver, and you need to be able to deliver even if you're not feeling 100%. Yeah. And so you should always have what's the word in English, that you have an overflow. No, like an overflow of energy that you have. Yeah, so
a surplus of energy.
Surplus is the word. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Do you You said about having your agent there and a few trusted people that you trust. How much has that affected you as a singer? I imagine that's really important to have those two ears, if you will, that you know are going to give you their honest opinion, and they've got, lack of a better term, skin in the game. They're not trying to make themselves better, they're trying to do what's best for you. How important have you found that?
Really important. Yeah. It's because you need to. The ones you listen to are people that you really you have to be able to really listen to, that you actually rely on them, and that you feel like, what you say, that they want what's best for you.
Yeah, not what's best for them. Cool. How has your approach changed over the years? Like moving from the lighter stuff, as you said, moving to the heavier stuff. Have you found your approach has changed, how you attack the opera? Is there any differences that you do now that you didn't used to do?
I don't know, maybe. One thing that I do now, really meticulously, when I start to learn a new piece, especially when it's a longer, bigger Wagner, for example, and the bigger German things, is that I always learn the text. I always study the text, so I can write the text basically, and know the worth of the notes on every word before I really start to make music out of it. So I kind of have done that before, but now I really do it, and I think that's helping a lot.
Okay. Right, so starting with the text and then moving to learning the notes, and then the collaboration with the other musicians.
Sort of. And the melodies and all that.
Cool. How do you find navigating the rehearsal and performance period for these heavier works? Do you have any strategies that you implement?
You have to, I think.
Yeah.
And it's really important that you feel that you have the support of the conductor and the company, basically, that they understand also that if you're gonna sing a big premiere like Siegfried or something, that you might not be able to, that they don't really expect of you to sing full out during the whole week, and then also expect you to have a perfect performance on Saturday. But everyone kind of understands that, and when they know that you actually can do it, and that you've done it before, and you know best what's best for you, then it's I've never had a problem with that anyone has said anything, or like, oh, why are you not singing out today? Because they understand that you understand yourself best. But definitely with these heavier parts you need to be really clever.
Just conscious about how much energy, like you said, you're putting out. Do you have any advice for singers taking on heavier repertoire, whether it be Verdi, Wagner, of how they should approach, like you said, being smart about the rehearsal space, about learning the music, about practicing, like while still trying to get the best quality out of a lesson or out of a rehearsal period?
Well, no, I don't know really what to say about that, but because I think you should always come like super prepared. It's really A to Z when it comes to going through a rehearsal period in a good shape the entire time, and arrive at the premiere in a good place, is to really know your stuff when you begin. And that's probably it, actually.
Just
take care of yourself and know that you know it, so you can relax in that and just know your material.
Have you found are there any hidden challenges working on the Wagner that you haven't or didn't expect when you were getting into it, compared to some of the lighter roles like Yenemarina and all that kind of stuff?
But Wagner, I think it's not so many hidden. Maybe I'm not thinking about everything here, but I think that you're warned and you have so much respect. You're warned by everyone about Wagner, and you have so much respect when it says Wagner on the score, so you're really like, wow, this is gonna be. And sometimes it's actually not that different instead.
Like,
because already from the beginning, so.
Yeah, it's kind of the elephant in the room.
I'm a sort of.
Well, besides doing a podcast, what's a day of the performance look like for you usually?
Usually a day of performance is trying to sleep as long as possible, which is getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
But and just take it very easy. It starts already the night before. Don't do anything, be quiet. It's actually more important on the day before to have a really relaxing day, I think.
Yeah.
Because and don't speak too much and don't hang out with friends like that. I stay on my own usually. But I like to cook.
Nice.
Cook a lot of food, like big pots of long boiled meat and stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
And do pulled pork and things like that. And read books. Just try to meditate on what's gonna happen. Not singing too much is probably the main thing, and I think that's one of the advice actually to give to young singers, that don't sing too much, don't always go and try the voice. Is it there? Is it there? Is it there? When the show arrives, it's a big risk that you have already sang like twice as much as you're gonna sing in the evening, and you're already like tired. But no, so that's what I usually do. Just
a lot of
feel the voice for pretty much already in the morning. See that everything is that falsetto is there, and if it's there and it's good, then you sort of know that's, even if you're a little slimy or whatever, it's gonna be alright.
Yeah, I think a lot of singers do fall into that trap of singing too much.
Absolutely.
So they try. It's like they try to cram. Like they know that opera, you don't need to like cram it in the last day. That's quite funny. Have you noticed your voice change over the years being in the industry?
Absolutely. I was quite dark in the voice when I was younger, and then I sang so much. I don't know, rock and roll and things like that. So my voice kind of became higher, and now it's of course getting with age darker again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is there things that I'm often told that when you're younger you can kind of push through things? Have you noticed that that's changed compared to singing in your 20s versus now?
I think almost it's the other way around, because everything is getting so much harder and stronger now. So now you can really give power without because the larynx is, I don't know, bonifying.
Yeah, it's calcified.
Calcified, yeah. So it becomes so much stronger, everything, than it was when I was like 20 years old.
Yeah. And do you think that's increased your vocal stamina as well, just having that stable system?
Yeah, because everything just much more grounded. It stays much better in one place.
Oh, awesome. How do you know, I don't know if you have you called in sick before for a show?
Called in sick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
not so many times.
Yeah.
Three times maybe.
Okay. And how do you know, because I know that a lot of singers often wake up on a show day and they have the itchy throat. That's a normal sensation, I think.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of performance anxiety and other stuff.
For sure.
Have you ever had a situation where you tried to push through it and you probably shouldn't have, or are you pretty?
Yeah, I sang, because usually if you're sick, you're sick. But I had once where the voice, I felt pretty fine actually in the morning when I woke up and during the day, and then it was the Valkyrie Sigmund in Vienna, at Theater an der Wien. It's a very special ring production, six years ago something, and just the voice started to fall back, and I was like almost not able to speak when the curtain rose.
Yeah.
And that was awful. There was really nothing to do about it, because I mean, an hour before the performance, when something really starts to happen, and I was really struggling. It went all right, but it was hard for a week or something after to find the voice again.
You managed to push through it.
Yeah.
Did you, when that was going on, was there anything you did in that moment where you just focused on technique and just less?
Absolutely technique.
Yeah.
And push as little as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
of course, and just try to.
Impressive. How has travel affected you as a singer? Do you find it easy traveling around to different venues, or?
The traveling per se, I've always been a person that feel like I've always enjoyed airports because I know I'm going somewhere.
You're going somewhere,
so
yeah.
that aspect is fine, but I have a family at home that I really want to be with, and so I really miss them. So the personal traveling is harder and harder, I must say, with the family.
Yeah.
And but voice-wise, singing-wise, I would never travel like with airplane or train on the same day as a performance.
Okay, so you like to leave a day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I find that's useful, especially for auditions and other things as well, just to kind of be able to get there and get your bearings of where the place is as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know there's been a few times myself where I've got somewhere I'm like, I have no idea where I'm going to go now.
No, because exactly. If you arrive on the day before, you can have if you're at a new place, you can see, all right, I'm going there, I'm going,
Yeah.
So there's no surprises on the day of where you actually have to deliver something.
Do you how do you navigate this career whilst keeping those family ties and friends and those relationships strong? Is there any advice that you have for people?
No, but that's hard. I mean, it's easier now than before, of course, because of internet. Because you can have, you can see each other, you can speak to each other every day for how long you want, which was not the case like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think that's important, and it's hard to give advice on that because it's so individual.
Yeah.
But that is of course great that you can speak to and see, and it's easier to travel, I guess, also now than not so far back at least, with airplanes and everything. But no, I'm very fortunate that my wife, she was a singer as well, and she knows she understands also what this job sort of requires, because she's been there, and she knows what focus you have to be in on the day of a performance or maybe the day before. So that's my advice.
She stood in your shoes, so she understands what the career demands. That you just got to travel for work. That's how it is. What's the opera scene like back in Sweden?
Opera scene?
Yeah, is it a good scene?
I'm
not familiar with it at all.
No, there's a bunch of great singers.
Yeah.
Like right now, are singing all around the world, and we've always historically been good at the Wagner things, really. From Birgit Nilsson and Seth Swanholm and who were really huge stars, and a lot of them really good dramatic sopranos and dramatic tenors.
Do you think that's due a little bit to the native tongue?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And I was looking online. You got a prize for, is it the Swedish? I forget the name of it. It's like a national award.
Oh yeah, from the.
Oh, sorry.
From the king.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I'm very honored.
Yeah.
I'm a royal court singer of Sweden.
Yeah. That's a cool little title. Royal court singer of Sweden.
No, it's really nice.
Oh,
I'm really,
awesome.
really honored. And that means that you sort of show up if there is if the king is celebrating birthday, if someone in the royal family is having a birthday, if there is a christening, if there is stuff like that. And
what's it like to sing for the royals? Was there more anxiety there?
No, they're actually really, really great.
Oh, awesome.
Great group. Yeah. It's always very fun.
Oh, cool. Do you get performance anxiety?
Not so much, actually.
Yeah, I've been talking to a few people lately, and they like to frame it as excitement.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the show.
No, but it's when you're on stage, I'm rarely nervous because then you're sort of inside your zone, but and you try to be aware of everything that's going on around you instead of thinking too much about the next high note or the next like that. So, but the day before or some things, of course, you can be really nervous.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for singers? What any things that you do?
I don't know, breathe deep.
Breathe deep, classic.
That's it, I guess.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, to finish on, what's your favorite role you ever performed?
I really enjoy.
You don't have to say Parsifal.
No, but I really enjoy Tannhäuser. I must say, yeah, that's a fun character. He lives through a lot during that evening, and it's a lot of fun basically to sing him. And Hoffman I always enjoyed as well, but I don't do him anymore. But that was a lot of fun as well.
Oh, cool.
Always.
Awesome.
Get this really character to play on stage.
Yeah.
That's
sick. Well, thank you for coming on and chukas for this evening.
Thank you. My pleasure.